Okay, guys, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and you know what Busch Gardens Tampa really needs? A triple launch coaster that goes upside down once. It's a big gap in their lineup. They don't have one of those. I'm sure that's exactly what people want in this park. Okay, jokes aside, yes, Busch Gardens Tampa announced that they will be receiving Tigris in 2019. This is a premier ride Skyrocket 2, and honestly, there's not a whole lot to talk about here. There's plenty of these out in the world. There's a good chance you've probably been on at least one of them. SeaWorld Entertainment purchased 3 of these and sent them to 3 of their parks, first to Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Electric Eel opened up this year at SeaWorld San Diego, and next year we have Tigris coming to Busch Gardens Tampa. And if I'm being perfectly frank, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't send one of these to SeaWorld Orlando. They don't have a launch coaster, and with the amount of space that this takes up, I feel like that'd be a much better fit there. But whatever, they still haven't opened Infinity Falls, so it doesn't matter. I do think it is nice that Busch Gardens Tampa is receiving another roller coaster. The last one, if you remember, was Cobra's Curse, which is a family coaster. And if I'm being fair, this will be nice because it'll give them a coaster that goes backwards. Because right now they don't have that. And that was really the case with Busch Gardens Williamsburg too. They already had Verbolten, and so then they got Tempesto. And it's nice that it's going in an area that really needed it. If you're unfamiliar with Busch Gardens Tampa, this is going where Tidal Wave was. It's near SheiKra. Tidal Wave had been sitting in SBNO for years, and so finally we'll be getting something in that area. It'll be really refreshing. And in a way, I think that this coaster is kind of filler for 2020 because when Busch Gardens made this announcement, they kind of overshadowed their 2019 edition with a tease at 2020. And I say tease because they didn't say officially, yes, Gwazi is getting RMC'd, but they said it about as indirectly as they possibly could without making it official. Word for word, they said that they'll be making Gwazi a hybrid coaster because Gwazi had a bit of a rocky history, and so in 2020, they'll be bringing a new thrill ride to that area. Okay, so just to review, confirmed, making Gwazi a hybrid coaster. What companies turn wooden coasters into hybrids? Well, that would be RMC. And he then said Gwazi had a rocky history. I feel like they couldn't spell it out for us anymore. Like, we've seen some subtle teases before, like Cedar Point did the whole Richard Michael Crosby RMC thing. That was pretty subtle. Not a lot of people caught on to that at first. And then King's Dominion did There's Really More Coming, RMC. Again, very subtle, like not everyone caught that at first. This is plain as day. Like, as soon as they said, we're turning it into a hybrid coaster because Gwazi had a rocky history, everyone immediately knew what is going to happen to Gwazi. So I feel like there isn't an argument that Gwazi won't be RMC'd. Everyone who was saying Gwazi can't be RMC'd, it's been sitting there rotting for years. The structure can't handle the steel track, yada yada yada. I'm sorry, but you guys just got proved wrong. Because now we know that they will be making Gwazi a hybrid coaster, and that is so exciting because that has been a huge eyesore ever since it closed, and I would much rather see it be turned into a hybrid coaster than completely demolished and put in with something else. Now, I think the immediate question was, why did it take them so long to turn Gwazi into a hybrid? I mean, that's not happening until 2020. And honestly, I think it is because of financial situations. When Gwazi closed, that was when they were experiencing a lot of budget cuts, a lot of problems. SeaWorld was not in the best shape. And so now we're at a point where their stocks are up, they're doing better, and the company has committed to spend a lot of money in capital investments at all of their parks every year. Not necessarily something brand new at every park every year, kind of like what Six Flags does, but they're planning on spending a lot of money at all of their properties to try and increase revenue and attendance numbers. So Tigris will definitely help bring that in, and then I think transforming Gwazi, that'll really do it. That coaster has so much potential as a hybrid. I honestly couldn't be happier that they're actually going to RMC it. We do have a couple different possibilities here. First of all, they could make it like a Twisted Colossus style ride, or they can make it a Storm Chaser style ride where they just turn it into one coaster with one lift hill as opposed to one coaster with 2 lift hills, or they can make it a true dueling coaster where each side is completely separate from the other, but they still duel each other. I think probably what is most likely is the dueling coaster where it's just one ride but features both lift hills. That's what I'm banking on, but again, who knows? Now, to answer the question, why would Busch Gardens Tampa announce it now? Why would they overshadow their 2019 edition by teasing 2020? I think it is because in order to turn Gwazi into a hybrid coaster for 2020, they gotta start construction soon. Think about when they closed Mean Streak. They started ripping that thing apart in October 2016, and that opened in May 2018. So if they start ripping apart Gwazi this October, then it will be on track to open probably in April or May of 2020. Gwazi is a huge project, so it makes a lot of sense that they would actually do this, so all of the coaster enthusiasts know what's happening. The park wouldn't have made an official announcement, kind of like Cedar Point didn't make an official announcement, but we knew it was happening. We knew they were turning it into Steel Vengeance. The park kind of didn't acknowledge it, so I imagine we'll probably see something similar here with Busch Gardens Tampa. But I'm thrilled about it. I think it has the potential to be the best coaster in the park. I think Tigris will be a nice supporting ride. It definitely won't be like top 3 or 4 at the park, but again, it's another coaster for the collection, so can't really complain. But I can't wait to see Gwazi finally get RMC'd. It fills in with everything we've been hearing about for the past few months, including the trademark that SeaWorld Entertainment filed, the markings on the footers. A lot of people were skeptical, but people like me were thinking, well, no, we've seen this before. RMC's coming, and here we have confirmation from the park that RMC is coming. They just didn't say RMC, but we know it's happening. So let me know what you guys think of the 2019 and 2020 editions coming to Busch Gardens Tampa. As we learn more about RMC Gwazi and eventually do get official confirmations from the park, I will do a full analysis on the layout and everything. So you can stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll catch you guys later.